I was going through and playing with some watches and looking at some things, and I came across these three, and I'd been meaning to talk about these, just because I talked about the 62 MES and the sort of the 60s style case that it had that matched other cases like it. It was a pretty common shape. I mean, look at that. I mean, the dimensions are very close, right? No, they aren't, because that's got a chronograph in it. But from the top, I think the lugs are a little deeper, but the general feel of it is pretty similar. Of course, no green loom. Isn't that interesting, though? I don't know why people didn't keep using this case style. I still think it's really cool. This one is a really, really old Arley. It's actually, there was Arley, and then Arley sold these branded as Sub 007. And so, but I've actually seen one of these with Sub 007 on the dial. I need to go back through and service this one. I got it as just a wreck. I mean, it was just a water-soaked wreck. Hang on. There you go. I mean, look at the dial. The dial patinaed out pretty nice. Tops of the markers were a little corroded, but I know more now than I did then. I might be able to make those better and clean that up. That isn't the correct sweep for it. I thought that was neat when I put it on. Now it just looks completely wrong to me. This is a screw down, a Rolex screw down. I don't like it. I want to put a bigger, more prominent dive crown on it. But it's a neat watch. I love that tropical dial. I saw one of the 007 ones on eBay, and I didn't buy it. And it didn't go for a lot of money either. Yeah, that's a pretty watch, isn't it? It's a pretty dial. God, the work I had to do to bring this thing back. Wow, it was so beaten and smashed. The crystal had been broken, and all the loom was black, and it was really something. It was really something. It's got an ETA 2472 in it, which is the same movement that I believe was used in Tudor dive watches. And pretty, isn't it, huh? I should clean that up a little more. The original owner was very hard on this watch. Anyway, so there that is. I think that's pretty neat. All these different case styles. So that's the one thing. I mean, Seiko's kind of running with the pack in the 60s. Everybody's using these case styles. Like, this was a generic case, basically, with dial and everything. You could buy and have branded for your company. There's a lot of different brands of this. So, but these things, I mean, they look a lot the same. They have this like early 60s look with the, with the skinny rotating ring. When these watches, I think in terms of proportions, were more like dress watches that happen to have a bezel around them versus a dive watch where the rotating ring is a critical element of the watch itself. And that's the real change. They beefed up the rotating ring. They made it bigger, easier to see, and then they dropped the size of the dial. It's kind of a Seiko thing that happened right at this time where they did that. And it to my eyes, it became kind of a classic thing where you look at the proportions on a Seiko after this period, and it will have this slightly smaller dial, and slightly, deeper, bigger rotating ring. One of the best places to see that is here. See if I can get some good light on it. Boy, I'm just having troubles here today, aren't I? Okay, I think I've got some better light. Anyway, this is exaggerated because of the size, but you can see that you know, they achieved some of that off balance too, by the larger size of the cases. But anyway, it's interesting to me. I hadn't really thought about it. For some reason, it only occurred to me today to think when I looked at this that was the first Seiko watch model that I can pin that had that particular Seiko ratio. I mean, even the SKX007 has it to a degree, though the smaller case makes the it's an optical illusion, but the insert here is the same as one of these. Maybe it's because it's got the small pip. Never did like that small pip. I always like a good, healthy, you know, manly, let's go out lumberjacking kind of big, strong pip. Well, anyway, to bring it home, this was a cool case style, and it was used a lot, especially in the 60s, but I believe Seiko did it best. They did it best. That's a killer. All right, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it.